Alright, so welcome. So we're the Monday night coaches for CCJSA. My name's Peter, so I'm the Regional Development Manager.
I'm Jordan. I also coach in the region.
My name's Jordan as well. I'm the goalkeeper coach here.
Sam, I help out with the training centre and with Pete's assistant for the TSP, I guess.
Cool, yeah. Alright, so all we're doing is recapping the week, recapping the term. So it's the end of term, but also plans for the future. So we are looking to do more videos. So come into the room, talk about all things football. We are then also doing an English Premier League tipping comp between the four of us. We might get a special guest tipper as well, somewhere in there. See if we can beat the mystery tipper. And maybe even a World Cup special edition. But we normally just, shoot the breeze and just talk. So this is why it's called Coach Talk. Welcome to Coach Talk.
Beaching outside,
It's nice and warm here. I'm actually roasting in this now. So mainly we're going to talk about our TSP and ATS. So we have 40 kids in that program, 4 goalkeepers. So they've been training with us for 2 terms now. We are now looking to move players between squads, which we'll probably start doing next term. But we'll start with the goalkeepers. So how are the goalkeepers progressing, my goalkeeper coach?
Yeah, no, they've been going really well. Unfortunately, obviously, towards the end of the term, we've had quite a few injuries, so that's sort of hindered us a little bit recently. But I know they've actually all really improved. The handling's come along quite well from when I first started to now. Just based off the game tonight as well, positioning was quite good. They didn't have to do too much actual diving for quite a few of the chances tonight, so that was quite happy to see, just general standing saves instead of diving because of our position. So it was good to see that. But I'm very happy with how they've been coming along in this term so far, and I look forward to hopefully doing a lot more in the next term.
Yeah, maybe we need to look about shooting. They're not diving.
No, well, look at his chances tonight.
Yes, there was. Which is good to see. Now, Jordan, you've got the ATS, so it's the squads that runs parallel to the TSP. Do you know what the ATS stands for?
Advanced Training Squad.
Very good. So these are ones that are, we feel they're a bit too advanced for our training centre, our skills training centre, so we move them into this ATS squad. They work with Jordan. How are they progressing?
They're getting there. It's honestly, it's actually been quite good. I mean, personally myself, it's my first time running a squad of this kind, not having like one age group to work with. It's this squad itself it ranges from, I think my youngest player is like 11 and my oldest player is bordering 16, I think. So to be able to and they're all in different phases of the game as well. Like some are still in the SAP level, and then obviously some are like head first in game training, and so trying to combine the two, trying to find that balance, and personally myself has been quite a challenge. But obviously if you don't feel challenged, then you're not really learning. And personally, I've just been really enjoying seeing them, seeing the players develop. Some obviously faster than others, but look, you can get that at every level. It doesn't matter where you go. But overall, I've been quite happy with everyone and all that. So yeah.
So how many do you feel are ready to make the next step up?
I can, right off the bat, there's one guaranteed. And then there's about 3 that are knocking on the door. There's just maybe, and it's one of those things where it might be they are ready. Like for me, I might not think they're ready because of the attitude, for example. But at the same time, if you do put them in there, they might have friends already in that program and might actually change them again. So then they would become ready. Whereas some are just, the understanding is almost there, and then they just need a couple more weeks, and then they'll be in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, perfect.
So, but yeah, I think there's one guarantee in my opinion, and then there's 3 or 4 just knocking on the door.
Cool. So I'm going to shoot across to you, Sam, because you've been my assistant for this program with the TSP. What do you see in the TSP? Like, what are you learning? Basically yourself as a young coach. Hopefully you learn some.
Yeah.
And in that environment of the TSP. So talk about your experiences in that.
God, I didn't expect to speak.
Probably on the spot.
Yeah, I've been enjoying helping alongside and sort of just learning. I think that it's been a very good environment in terms of still pushing them and being a bit more competitive in terms of what you expect from them, the expectations, and some of the players have met that, and you can see the ones that have the good attitude, and some think because they have the ability that they don't have to keep working. But I think overall the TSB that you have is a good balance of players that you're developing, the ones that really can benefit from it, and the ones that are working hard, and the ones that just need to be there because they just have that skill already, and they need to be in that competitive environment, I guess.
Yeah.
It's been good to watch.
Yeah, no, cool. Like I said, so yeah, the TSP is, start of the year we ran trials, we had 40 plus players come down. Our TSP is made up of 16 players. You've got a squad of more, 18, I think. No, I've got 18.
I've got like 20, 22,
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah, and then we've got 4 keepers. So in the TSB squad, my youngest is an 11-year-old girl, oldest is a 16-year-old boy, and we train them the same. So that 11-year-old girl, same, or 12-year-old girl, same as that 16-year-old boy. And if anything, I think this 12-year-old girl now has progressed 3, 4, 5 levels because of that. So yeah, and then the older people in the squad become leaders, and that's what we're seeing, especially. So it's great to see, and they don't treat anyone differently. You know, just because they're boy or girl, they're helping each other out. Yeah, like the same team. Yeah, so it's good. Program's running well. We are looking forward to the next 2 terms. Best thing is we've already put them through a referees night. Now we're looking to develop them as coaches as well, give them a bit more knowledge, see if they can bring out knowledge themselves. From this as well, we've had 3 or 4 that now become regular referees. So I think the program is worthwhile, and you know those people, those 3 or 4 people, you can tell that they've become referees because they've got better knowledge of the game, and they've got a bit of extra pocket money. We can all use that, can't we? So then we're looking at, I know a few of them already coach, but we're going to put them through a referee coaching course. So again, helps their knowledge, and it's not just about training. So this is now about development as people and players, and even get a few coaches out of it as well. So that's on the cards for them. So we are looking to evolve this program. So yeah. Now, we'll throw it in. Another one is, what do you think of the state of junior football in this region at this stage? So,
It's a big question.
it is a huge question. Now I've been here for 3 years now. I'm starting to see it evolve, and I'm hoping hopefully I'm having an impact on that. But I feel like it's evolving, and we're starting to learn the message and starting to get more up to times, instead of this old school way of training to now become a bit more holistic. So we're getting a lot more educated coaches who are now following this system, and it's a process.
Yeah.
So I feel like before it was just win. We need to develop players to win. Where now we're saying, okay, it's a process. And I was talking to coaches saying they, were undefeated for years, but now they can understand. Now it's a process, and they can accept losing games for the greater good.
Yeah, the learning process.
Yeah. So what do you think, Kingy?
I guess, I was one of those coaches. Play to win. I still do, technically.
Of course.
You always want to play to win, but you also got to see your wins differently. Your wins aren't, as a coach now, it shouldn't just be 3 points. Your wins should be, is your team getting the message that you've been trying to teach. And I think that's probably been, for myself, has been the biggest mindset shift that I've had is not, it's, yes, winning, especially like in the older age groups, I've been coaching for the last 4 years, 2 years in the 15s, 2 years in the 17s. And at that age group, a lot of them play to win, but it's also, and you also, sometimes you have to tap into that. But for myself, if I can see them listening to the instruction, and buy into the way that I want to play, then that is a win for me. And then look, if we get 3 points, we get 3 points, you know. But overall, I think yes, it's starting to, you can see the changes. You can see the changes that are starting to come along. It's probably yeah. We're evolving, but I guess we've still got a long way to go compared to where we want to be as a region, in comparison to other places as well. And look, the only way we can go is just keep moving forward, try to educate as many coaches as possible, try to learn as much as possible. And yeah, I think that's the biggest problem that you could face, I guess, is thinking that you know it all. That is, I reckon, is probably the biggest problem in the region, is that there are probably a lot of people who think, oh, I know it all, I don't need to learn.
We've all been
For
there
the,
at some point.
for the players and the coaches.
For both players and coaches, I think.
We've all been there, though.
Yeah, I think it's thinking that you know it all. I think you can learn at any level. You can learn from the under sixes all the way up into the senior level. You can never stop learning. There's always new ideas.
You can still learn.
Yeah, even after you retire, you can still learn. I mean, that's the beauty of football.
What about you, Jordan?
I don't know if I haven't really had to witness too much of the juniors.
Yeah, true.
So the only real junior development I've been able to witness is probably most of them coming through the seniors at the moment.
Yep.
And it's good to see that there's a lot of juniors actually coming through the senior ranks. I see especially a lot of teams getting generally younger than what they used to be. Everyone else coming up, it's generally a lot of more older players. It's good to see a lot more younger teams coming through than what I used to see. I used to see Resis was intimidating to play as a young kid in Resis, and I start seeing now that Resis are a lot of young kids.
Resi's normally now basically youth grade.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great to see that they're making that step.
Yeah, it's not
Do
so much.
you think that's because a lot of the older players that used to be in that Resis fell, like obviously they get old and they fall off and they stop playing, so you
Also might be because I'm getting older.
Everyone looks younger now.
now you've got the numbers of those players becoming less and less.
Yeah.
Now it's the young players coming through that you need to push them up to fill
Right,
the
well,
team.
I guess.
Yeah,
it is a lot of numbers in general. Yeah.
The only way to make up the numbers is with the juniors. Like
Yeah.
I say, a lot of them are stepping up and doing
Yep.
great jobs. From even teams we play against, I see a lot of really good upcoming juniors.
That's it. What about you, Sam? What do you see in the shift? I mean, you've been coaching. This is your second year. Obviously, you've done your C license now, and you've grown a lot as a coach. But what do you feel has been the shift in your short time as a coach
In the juniors.
in the juniors?
Yeah, I think, like you guys have mentioned before, it definitely comes around coaching. A shift in coaching will bring a shift in better players, or not better players, but better coaching for those players.
Smarter players.
Smarter players, and like you said, the right way to train those players, holistic way of training them. And I think that's starting to be a bit of a shift as well, the coaching that's coming in to help those players. And then I think the juniors that I see, well, obviously in the TSB and all that, and in my juniors, I think you can see that there's a lot of good, talented players that with the right coaching are going to, definitely you can see them being league players or being men's players, and it's good to see some of the junior players doing their Saturday junior games and then doing a Sunday men's game or whatever, and it's good to see a bit more seen a lot of involvement from the young players in wanting to be involved in all aspects of the game instead of just playing more, like just playing more and enjoying it. Like that's what you want to see with your players. You want to see them enjoying it.
I think we talked about it, the C license. You don't just want to create players, you want to create problem solvers, people who can play in multiple positions, multiple systems, and be able to determine what is the right decision in each situation. And I think with coach education, it will take the coach away from trying to direct the players, telling them everything what to do, telling them, oh, you got to pass here, you got to pass there, you got to make this run, you got to go that run. Instead, they can kind of sit back a bit more and then just call out certain instructions, like if you call out one word like shape, for example, automatically the team will know what shape for what positioning for the system, exactly right. Or
what do you see? Asking them the questions.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think that if we can collectively as a region, if we can create coaches who can create problem solvers, then we'll be going pretty well, I reckon.
And that's the value of that coach education. You know, you three all did your C license. And I was very fortunate enough to run that C license, and the shift in your coaching that I see from the day one all the way through to the last day, day 7, just that evolving, just that light bulb moment going, wow, that's what I like. And again, that's the value of the coach education. Now we just need more and more of these coaches educated like that. It's not just one way of coaching. It's just showing you that this is a way that is beneficial, and then you develop your own style based on those foundations.
More than one way.
Based on personality too.
Yeah, personality. But as soon as you get that foundation, you can then start building. And again, the biggest message was that holistic problem solving, and especially youth development. So if we've honed the player to be problem solvers, when they get to senior level, they've got all the skills, they've got all the tools in the toolbox. A senior player can be, it's so much easier to work with a youth player like that than trying to teach them how to pass and in certain situations. And they're adaptable. That's the biggest one. So it's good to see. So we'll wrap it up there. But there's plenty to talk about, so we'll leave some stuff to talk about for the future weeks.
Let's keep going.
Otherwise we'll keep going till midnight and we'll get locked in. But again, look out for these videos. Just like I said, we're just going to shoot the breeze, talk about whatever, but we'll also do some special ones around the English Premier League, the World Cup, Women's World Cup next year, if we're still around for that. But it's what we go through, saying what comes to our head, and
Happy days.